I'm going to just take as my starting point for this the idea that most of you tuning in probably are Christians. Though I'm sure there's also a handful of atheists out there who are also tuning in on the hopes that this might be a takedown. If that's you, I want you to stay tuned. There is something coming up for you. Joel Osteen heads up Houston's own Lakewood Church. With its more than 60,000 members strong, it is the largest icon for Christianity in the entire Western Hemisphere. It is from here that he broadcasts his message not just across the Houston area, but all over the country and around the world. It's a message that is as positive as it is homespun, which makes it a very appropriate fit for this community. Simply put, the message is that God delights in seeing his people happy, successful, and fulfilled. Now, this is a message that is universal and all-encompassing in its appeal. So it's no wonder that his following stretches as far and wide as it does, not even to mention as diverse. Yet, it is also this same message that garners him some serious criticism along the way. Critics take exception by tying this popularity straight to a message that they view as one-sided, as it focuses almost entirely on the blessings and the benefits to be derived from serving the Lord, while really having nothing to say about the sacrifices and the responsibilities of the same, let alone anything that would speak out against forces of darkness and evil in our world. But ironically, the harshest of all criticism seems to be coming from, of all places, fellow Christians, over what, as far as I can gather, amounts to him somehow not being Christian enough for their liking, or something like that, I suppose. Now, this is where I come in. The way I see it, in this world, results matter. And if you take all of Christianity, I think it can be nicely divided into three separate but distinctive tiers. On the very bottom tier lie the people I call CEOs, because they attend faithfully twice a year, Christmas and Easter only. Now, I have no doubt that the eternal destination of these people is just as secure as anybody on the top two tiers. Yet, I'm sure even they would tell you that on a day-to-day basis that their faith might be shaky at best, and sometimes just barely enough to get them by, especially in difficult times. On the second tier lie the regulars. Now, I would say that if your attendance ratio is anywhere between 85% or higher, you're probably right there on the second tier. Good for you. Beyond just recommitting once or twice a year, you seem to be interested in actively maintaining your faith on an ongoing basis, and that's a good thing. Finally, there's the top tier. These are the people who not only are they there week in and week out, but they're a part of it. They serve on committees, they go to meetings, they make phone calls, they raise funds, they may even chair meetings. To put it in sports terms, these are the people who are moving the ball down the field for the Lord. My point here with all this is simply the fact that Joel Osteen, the entire time, has been in the business of taking the non-Christians and moving them up to the third tier, while taking the third tier CEOs and moving those people into the second tier, taking the second tier regulars and moving them up into the first tier. All of this while systematically growing the body of Christ around the greater Houston area and arguably around the country and the world. Not even to mention his many best-selling books. I have a hard time imagining how anybody could take exception with this at all, as I find it to be a very impressive body of work by any standard of measure. Unless you're one of those atheists that I mentioned at the top of this. And if so, as promised, just for you, here now is your takedown. Joel Osteen has done more to advance the body of Christ and the cause of Christ than almost any other person in North America. On behalf of all atheists around the world, I find this shocking and disgusting, and I'm thoroughly appalled over and out. There. I hope that made you feel better. But regardless of whatever faith you choose to practice or not, this has been your good friend Steve. Till next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see everybody once again very soon. Steve out.